Friday, I am going to close the assignments for January. So if any of the assignments that you're missing are from January, I will be closing them on Friday. So make sure that you turn them in by Friday afternoon because I will close them. So if you have any missing assignments, I don't want to be grading January assignments in April. So you have a couple more days to finish any makeup assignments from January. January will close. Okay. All right. I need you to open up your packet to page 12. Page 12, please.
PG 12. Wait, we're not doing those?
No, not today.
We haven't been taking notes because we just kind of do it from the packet. Hence,
we need to take notes.
the packet.
Notes are in the packet. It's like the notes, but we just answer the notes.
All right. Page 13, 12, page 12. Now, if you see on page 12, we are so used to first Justin reading the story. But the box for story is completely blank on page 12. So, how are we supposed to fill out everything coming up?
We make our own story.
But I give you one piece of information on this page, Jordan, that will help us do everything. What is it?
412.
Yep. So right here, this piece of information here, the 4 and the 12, is going to help us fill out everything, including the story. So if I give you this piece of information, this is the only piece of information I give you, what do I do to find the unit rate given this piece of information?
12 divided by 4.
Very good, guys.
It's free.
Good, so write it down. So I'm going to use this information up here, and I'm going to divide 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4. And what is 12 divided by 4? 3. What does 3 represent? 3 is your what?
Per one thing.
Your unit rate, your per one thing. So our unit rate is 3. Where do I write that? Next to what number, Margarita? Let's focus.
1.
Next to the 1. So whatever you get here, your unit rate, you will always place it next to the 1. Okay? So what are we multiplying by?
3.
By 3. So all of these numbers right now, can you please multiply it by 3? All of those numbers multiply by 3, please.
I did it.
All right. Everybody finished multiplying by 3? The bottom one, be careful because I always skip, right? You should not have 21 on the last one.
I have 30.
Good. You should have 30. All right. Now, before we move on to the table, let's come up with the story. So the easiest stories to come up with are about money. Something costing something. So think of something that costs about $3. One thing costs $3. Chips. A what? So a bag of chips. Okay. In general.
Soda.
Donuts.
A soda, donut. One donut.
It's like about $3.
It's like-
or 2.
Well, it depends if they're like the fancy donuts.
Because like one time I went to 7-Eleven and the donut was like $2.50, like $2.50.
What? Was it like a big donut? Like
No, it was like
just
it was
have them
smaller.
really-
Like it was
I mean, you could get the powdered donuts that are like
no,
$2.
it was just a normal glazed donut.
All right, now I want a donut. You see what you guys cost? All right.
What the donut?
I even liked it. It tasted funny.
All right.
I want powdered donuts that come in the little box.
Okay. So let's go write the story. The cost of 4 blanks. You can fill that in with donuts, Takis, bags of chips.
Sodas.
The cost of 4 blanks is, how much would 4 of them cost? Look in our table. How much would $12? Very good. Good. So I'll do bags of chips.
Is that a good price?
Bags of chips. $3. Maybe like the larger bag of chips. I don't think like the individual
No,
bags.
they are. They're like $2.
Yep.
Like
I went to the
$2.50.
Lucky Mart next to my house, and a Taki bag was $2.97.
Wow. Plus tax. All right. So your X would represent for me bags of chips. What would it be for you? Write it down. And then your Y for everybody. What is your Y for everybody in the classroom? Money. So let's write that down. Money. Bags of chips. Or if you did something different, if you filled in the blank with something different, then you write it down with whatever you wrote down. All right. What are we going up on our X by? 1.
Wait, what? Oh.
What are we going up on our Y's by? 3. Now don't go 1830. Don't write that down. Make sure you understand that we skipped, so you skip.
Yeah. Wait, what happened to the guy that wanted to be a teacher?
He is only here for you guys on Friday, so you won't see him this week.
Oh, so he's not going to be a teacher.
He is, but he's still a student.
Then how's he going to be teaching?
He's a student, but he's a teacher.
No, he's
He's a student, like trying to learn.
So that's like if I wanted to be a
Oh,
doctor,
so
but
he's a student trying
just
to
go
learn
inside.
how to be a teacher.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
goes
he
to
can
Harvard?
go here,
He
and
goes
then
to
when he's
Harvard.
out, he can like learn.
So he flunked.
Harvard Cinema.
Oh.
How is he going to flunk will be a teacher? Don't you have to have good grades to be a teacher?
Mr. Melly, did you have to
Father.
I'll got me your word now.
Wait, Mr. Melly, you graduated from MIT?
Get a load.
No.
Oh, you're not
It's
playing.
not funny when you see it, man. No, obviously maybe that's why.
all right. If you did it correctly, go all the way up to 36. Remember, don't after 18. Do not write 30. After 18, do not write 30. Right? You're counting by 3s, so you should all be able to count by
I get
3s.
it.
What comes after 27?
Yes.
Oh, wait, not 40. What?
How did you get 20? Oh,
Just
Yeah.
artificial.
I figured it out.
what comes after 27? Yeah, 30.
All right.
Artificial intelligence.
28,
No, I just add
30, 31,
27 plus 3.
30. Yeah, I guess.
Are you done?
Yeah. Well, those aren't like pencils. Those are for drawing. Those are for writing.
Why do you have to draw the dot?
That's the whole point of graphing. The dots.
Oh, yeah. Wait, if I ask a question that you think is obvious, but to me it's not obvious, will you get mad?
What?
Never mind.
What do you
All right. Let's answer these questions at the bottom. What does 1, 3 means in the context of the problem?
It
One
means
bag of-
one bag of chips for $3.
Good.
Oh, wow.
Cost $3. One bag of. One bag of.
One bag costs $1.
Can I put one chip?
One chip.
One chip is crazy.
Can I put one chip costs $3?
0
One chip, that's
0
One chip challenge.
bags
Oh, yeah.
of chips.
Cause 0.
Cost $0. Remember, even though it's a very simple question and you're like, it's just nothing, Miss O'Malley, you do have to identify that the first 0 is your bags of chips and your second 0 is about money. So 0 bags of chips cost $0.
Did you do the one chip challenge?
What does the 412 mean?
4 bags of chips.
I'm getting pissed off. I keep writing the wrong letters.
Hey, don't be saying bad words.
Okay.
Wait, that's a bad word.
Okay,
I didn't know that
we're
either.
moving on. We're moving on.
Mr. Melly's recording.
Bro, I don't even know how to write anymore.
Shut
And
up.
I didn't record second, so this one ribbon is going up. So let's not say anything so it doesn't pick up your voice. All right. All right. So all of this is pretty much review. You've done this before. The only thing different was the starting. We started with a point instead of a story. Now I actually get to teach you something brand new that you haven't learned yet, but it's going to blow your mind. Okay. I have to teach you how to write an equation for these problems that we've been doing.
Oh wait, is it just 4 equals $12?
Okay, how do we make 4 equal $12, right? We write an equation that will always make 4 turn into a 12. Okay, in your equation, you will always start with y equals. When you tell me your answer to the equation, you're always going to start with y equals. Always start with y equals. Then you are going to write k, which stands for something, and then an x. You will always start with y equals kx. Now, we're not touching our iPad. We're not looking at our iPad. Our iPad is not in use right now. Okay, very important, because this stays with you in 8th grade, which means you're going to use it in high school. Okay? This is the first day you learn how to write an equation. You will always start with y equals. In high school, 90% of the time, you will start with y equals. Okay? You're always going to have an x. Even in high school, you're going to have an x. Now, k. K is a 7th grade thing. It does change in 8th grade, and it does change in high school. But in 7th grade, we call it K. What do you think K stands for in these problems? What does every single problem in this packet have in common?
Money. Continue. Wait.
It does not start with K.
Oh, rate.
Money? Oh, unit rate.
Your unit rate. So K equals your unit rate. I do not understand why they randomly use the letter K. I would say, why don't you use U, right? I don't get it. I understand why they don't use R, because R would be radius. You know, it could be confused with radius. But I don't know why K. It's still a mystery after so many years of teaching this. Maybe one day someone will know. Okay, so in 7th grade, you will always write your equations as y equals your unit rate, then your x. And that's it. In 8th grade, it changes a little, but in 7th grade, this is how it starts. So if you know it in 7th grade, in 8th grade, it'll be easier. All right, so what is our unit rate for page 12? 3, right? So we're going to write our equation now. I'm going to put a little box so I can see my equation. What do we always start our equation with?
K.
With the unit rate.
Y.
Y equals.
K
Equals
But instead of K, we're going to use our unit rate. What's our unit rate? 3. And then we always going to end it with an X. Why do you think we use the letter Y and X?
Because y equals x.
A, B, C, D.
Very good. Because we're graphing them. What does this line mean in the graph? Your X. What does this line, Ruben? Knock it off. Always is your Y. So when we're graphing, we're always identifying the X and the Y. Hence, we go X and Y. What was the ordered pair I gave you to start with? What was the ordered pair I gave you to start? 4 and 12. Is 4 an X or a Y?
X.
X. So plug in 4 right here.
What?
Plug in 4 into your X. What would you get? What would Y equal?
3.
12. Because it's 3 times 4.
And that makes 12.
And that makes 12. That
And
would give
divided
you
by
your Y. So this equation, I'm not going to show you today so much. Later on, I'll show you how to use the equation. Today, we're just writing your equation. All right, rewind all the way back to page 3. Go back to page 3.
We already finished it.
What's one thing we did not do on page 3?
What we just did.
Correct, the equation. So somewhere on here, where you have room, what would be the equation for page 3?
Y equals X.
Very good. Y equals 2x. Why 2? Because 2 is my unit rate. So it would be y equals 2x. And that's it.
So why you just...
Wait, but why is it X?
Jalen, what letter do you put?
What do these numbers represent? X. What do these numbers represent? Y. So that's why we have a Y and an X. If I wanted to figure out any of these, I would plug them in here to find the pair.
So the Y always goes first.
Correct. In high school, sometimes you switch the order, but that's when you get into the higher
What
math.
does the Y stand for?
All right. Page 4. Page 4. What would be my equation for page 4?
2.3. No, y equals 2.3x.
Where do I get the 2.5? It's my unit rate. All right. Page 5.
Y equals 0.5.
Yep.
You're missing something, Jordan.
X. Are we gonna do the next one?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Page 6. Good. That's page 6. You did page 7.
I did it.
Wait, we didn't do it.
Oh, I wasn't here.
All right. Y equals what on page 7?
6x.
That's the one that you filled out with Mr. Franco.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's when we caught this, right?
That's when we didn't finish. Wait,
Yeah. Well, no, you should have finished.
Wait,
I didn't do that.
I wasn't here.
Do we do what?
All right. And then we have skipped page 8, 9, 10, right? And 11, which we will continue skipping. I might do these right before a test to review. All right. But you should have equations for page 3 through 7. Page 3 through 7 should have equations on them now. When we do, maybe right before a test to review. Because now, starting from now, it's all new stuff. I probably will give it to you next week. Probably next Friday. So your grade that you're looking at right now on Canvas is probably your 6th grade grade. The only way to change it is to, if you're missing a test, come in tomorrow. Make sure you do your 2 topics today. But yeah, it's your progress report. How are you doing? May is the one that's your final grade. All right.
I have a lesson. I can just go to Sunday school, right?
Page 13. Page 13. Page 13. I'm going to start you and then you're on your own. Okay. Again, on page 13. Is there a story? No, there is no story. So, what information do I give you?
Multiply by 2.5.
So, I give you points, right? I give you these 3 points. How do I take a point, an ordered pair, and convert it into unit rate? I have to do what?
Divide.
Divide. Very good. So, of the 3 that I gave you, you have to pick one pair to divide. I would pick the easiest one to divide. 2 and 5 would be the easiest ones to divide. You would put the 5 inside and the 2 inside. I'm sorry, the 2 outside and the 5 inside. And what is our unit rate? 2.5. Very good. Our unit rate is 2.5. So, where would I put the 2.5 in my table? Where does it go? Next to the 1. Very good. All right. I'm done writing. So, I am done writing. Your assignment is this whole page. So, I will continue talking to you about it, give you clues and help, but you're not getting anything more from me, so go. Okay, so keep adding 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 to get all